Welcome back, guys. In this video, we are going to learn exactly how you start a manual car. If you are a nervous driver, this is the video for you. We are going to go through it step by step. Now, I know you might be feeling panicky right now, but by the end of this video, you're going to feel a million times better. Because the worst thing that is possibly going to happen is you're going to get some noise. And after all, are you scared of a vacuum cleaner? Hopefully you're saying no. If the answer is no, you're going to be fine, trust me. So before we even touch the key, we're going to want to make sure that the car is still secure, we're in control. These are all the things we're probably worried about right now. So first thing, to make sure we're in control, we just need to make sure we can reach the pedals. I can't, so I'm just going to move this seat. Next, we're going to want to adjust the mirrors just to make sure that we can see out the back. And we can see the whole of the back window and we can see down the sides. Excellent. And finally, arguably most important, we want to make sure the handbrake is on. The handbrake, also known as a parking brake, is what keeps the car still when we're not touching anything. Whoops-a-daisy, a bit like that. That was close. It's also useful because when we're driving, we can get very easily distracted. You know, when we're stopped in traffic, people yappering on, you lose focus for a second. Next thing you know, you're rolling back. That's why you're often recommended to use the handbrake if you're stopping for a while. But we're not going to touch on those three anymore in this video. This video is focused on how to start the car. So just to clarify, the handbrake is nothing to do with starting the car. The handbrake is to stop the car doing something that you didn't expect, like rolling backwards, rolling forwards. That's about it, really. Now, when we come to starting the car, we're probably going to need our feet. Some cars do, some cars don't. So it's best just to touch on them now. If you've got a manual car, you're going to have three pedals. You're going to have the clutch, you're going to have the brake, and you're going to have the gas. Easy way to remember them is CBA, can't be asked, or ABC. Now, your left foot in a manual car is only ever for the clutch. That's the very left pedal. Your right foot is for the brake or the gas pedal, the accelerator. I'm going to call it the gas because it's faster. Your right foot only uses one of those pedals at a time because after all, should we ever need to press the brake and gas at the same time? No. To start a car, there are a few different methods. You have the keyless fob. This you just place inside the fob in the picture. You have a card in some cars. And some of the newer cars, you even have an app where you don't need to do anything at all. But chances are, if it's your first car, you aren't going to be having one of these for a few years. You can also get the push button cars, where you just place a card or something in the car and you push a button. And finally, you get the traditional key method. Wow. Lots of people look at this and they get themselves a bit muddled, like, what in God's name is that? It is a key. What you have to do is you press that button there and out pops the key. Don't hit yourself in the eye though. This key only works in your car. To make the car start, first of all, we have to put the key in the ignition. The ignition is this little barrel on the right-hand side of the wheel. You find out, look at it, figure out which way the key goes in and push it all the way in. Done, halfway there. Now, some cars need you to put the clutch down in order for the car to start, and some cars don't. The main reason for that is if we try and start without the clutch down and we're in gear, the car's going to end up juddering forward, which isn't a fun experience, especially if you're parallel parked. Now, some cars need you to press the clutch down before starting the car. If you're not too sure, just press the clutch down, it's not going to do any harm. It's also not going to do any harm if you do need to start the car with the clutch down and you don't press it because the car will tell you. My car, for instance, if I turn the key, the car won't do anything. But on the screen, it says depress the clutch to start, telling me that I need to press the clutch down fully if I want to start the car. So I'm going to do just that. Clutch has gone all the way down. Now in modern cars, you could hold the key until the car is fully started. It's not going to do any damage at all. Then when you're confident after a second or two that the car is fully started, you can let go of the key and it'll just flick back slightly. Now you can let go of the key and the key's job is done. It just has to sit in there quietly, minding its own business. Provided you're in neutral, you can also take your foot off the clutch. Now, one of the most common panic points we get when people try to start the car is because of the steering lock. Now, the steering lock isn't a fault with the car, it's a theft protection. It means when your wheel's locked, it's a lot harder for someone to try and steal your car because they won't be able to turn the wheel. To turn your steering lock on, when the key isn't in the ignition, we just have to get the wheel and pull it reasonably hard until you hear a click. Once you hear a click, now I can turn that wheel that much. That's all I can turn it, and it won't move any more than that. Now, the scary bit is when I come to put the key back in and I try and start the car. Key's gone back in the ignition, I'm trying to turn and the key feels stuck. Now in my car, to be fair, if I force the key, it will turn, but in lots of cars it won't. So what I have to do is I have to take the pressure off the steering lock by just grabbing the wheel with one hand, my left hand, and pulling slightly just to take the pressure off the wheel. When I pull it slightly and then turn the key, the ignition will now turn on. Now the key's in, I can let go of the wheel and the steering lock is now off. I can then put my pedal down, turn the key and hold it turned until the car comes fully on. Wham bam, thank you ma'am, no more steering lock. Now lots of cars you don't have to start with the clutch down. The problem with this is really important that you make sure your car is in neutral, otherwise this is going to happen. That's not fun. That's because I'm still in gear and my clutch isn't fully down, so my engine and my wheels are connected, meaning my car is trying to move forward as well as turn on. That's not what you're aiming for when you're trying to start the car. So to avoid that, we've just got to know the difference between neutral and the clutch. So this is where we have to be a little bit careful, because when we press the clutch, it can hide our mistakes. We don't know if we're in neutral or if we're in gear. But the gear stick, that tells us the truth. So before you start the car, always just make sure that your gear stick is in neutral. You can tell if your gear stick's in neutral because it's the long line across the middle of the gear stick. These lines are where your gear stick can actually go. If you can pull your gear stick left and right, you are definitely in neutral. If you can't pull your gear stick left and right, you're in gear. Get it out of gear. Now, even if you do start the car in gear with your clutch down, you're not going to do any damage to the car. The same applies if you start the car in neutral, you are not going to do any damage to the car. Some cars you even have to hold the brake on to turn on, you're not going to do any damage to the car. Cars are built to take on a lot of wear and tear, so it really takes a hell of a lot to do any damage to a car from the inside, especially at this stage. Why does the car stay still when we start it? Why aren't we going backwards or forwards? This is down to your parking brake. You have two types of brakes in your car. You have your foot brake. If you have your foot brake on, your car's not going to roll. If I haven't got any other brake on and I take my foot off the foot brake, my car's going to start rolling like so. The second brake you have is your handbrake, also known as your parking brake. In the name, anytime you're parking or stopping for a long time, we want to make sure our parking brake's on. Now in lots of cars you have the big pulley lever. You know it's on because your pulley lever will be all the way up. Provided it's up enough, that's going to make sure your car stays still. Just make sure you release it before pulling away. Now in more modern cars like this one, you may have a button or smaller lever like this one where I can just pull this up. Now you know it's a parking brake because it's got a picture of a wheel on with brake pads on both sides, and in the middle it says P for parking. Now if I pull that up, we get a little orange light on. That shows that my parking brake's on. That means if I take my foot off the brake, our car is not going to roll anywhere at all. What if my car doesn't start? Very good question. Well, let's have a look at what happens. If I'm trying to start my car and that happens, that means we need to double check our gear. So put our clutch down. It may even look like you're in neutral, but just double check. Pull it to the middle. There we go. There's the middle. We can move left and right. We were not in neutral. Try again. Sorted. Now when you turn the key in the car, think of it as a light switch with two buttons. The first button, you're just turning on the electric, the lights. This is called turning on the ignition. When you turn it a bit more and hold it, that actually starts the engine. So if you go to turn your key and just a bunch of lights are coming on the dashboard, this is letting you know you've probably just turned the ignition on, just turned on the electric in the car. So just turn it a bit more and hopefully your car will start. If it doesn't start at that point, you might want to double check what lights are actually coming on. You might have an engine light, you might have a battery light, anything like that could mean your battery's flat. But hopefully you won't experience this right now. The other reason your car might not start is if your clutch isn't fully down. Anytime we're pressing the clutch, we always press it all the way down. The only time we don't have the clutch all the way down is when we're actually trying to move. Okay, so we started the car. What happens next? Well, we need to move the car. So let's go. Now, the problem is right here, you guys can see if there's anything behind me, but I can't. So I have no idea, and you guys aren't going to have a camera looking. So how can I make sure there's no one coming past me, dog walker, car, motorbike, before I head off down here? Because if anyone looks at me, they're going to think I'm parked. You guessed it, quick check in mirrors and blind spot. Now this is called your blind spot here because you aren't going to be able to see anything in that mirror. I know it looks like you're going to be able to, but if you get someone to just stand out there, you won't see them at all. And it's quite a scary idea when you do try it. It also means I can't see those driveways over there. So anytime you're about to pull off, we just turn our head and have a look around. Then once we're happy, we set our gas, bit of noise, that's good. And we raise the clutch and hold it till the car starts to move. And then after a couple of seconds, we release. Hopefully by now you have a far better idea of how to start a manual car. Maybe if you've got a manual car, you can ask mum and dad to let you test it out. What would mean a lot to me, guys, is if this has helped you, please let me know in the comments. I love making these videos, but I love to know that they actually help people as well. Now, if you can do what we talked about calmly, collectively, you are going to be ahead of 99% of learners. Control first, movement second. It's all about understanding the bits. If you understand the bits and rather than thinking of it as Harry Potter magic, you're going to be absolutely fine. And of course, if you are learning to drive, have a look at my online driving course. It's going to massively boost your confidence and it's going to save you some money on lessons. It's less than the cost of one driving lesson. It'll be in the link or just there. Later, make sure you have a look at some of the test routes. Probably not there yet if you're watching this video, but don't forget, good luck and I'll see you all soon.